Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over there at Celebration Ice.
Ice baths for humans. Silly. Ice baths for cold adult beverages. Genius. When you're preparing the cooler, there are only 3 steps needed. 1, cooler. Simple. 2, ice. Even more simple. 3, beverages of choice. Now, you can fail the simple 3 steps of preparing the cooler if you aren't utilizing Celebration Ice. Use a local company right in the heart of Jasper that cares about this community and the people in it. When you buy a bag of Celebration Ice, you aren't just getting the benefit of the best ice around, you're also helping a local business. Don't be an idiot. Buy Celebration Ice.
The Wondering Dutchmen Podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wondering Dutchmen. Yeah, yeah. The Wondering Dutchmen. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Wondering Dutchmen Podcast, coming to you from, that's right, Smoker's Lounge. Today's episode is brought to you by Celebration Ice, the coolest place in Jasper. Ooh, that's a marketing idea.
Ooh.
Hey, it's not Seabird, it's Cybert.
Cyber.
Our buddy Mark Cybert over there at Celebration Ice. Fill your coolers with the best ice around. Support local. He is local, gives back, does a lot of things for the community. And he's a big fan of the Wondering Dutchman. I invited him to the lounge, and he said, here's the problem. I get up to work at 5 a.m. every day during the summer, 7 days a week. And I said, yeah, you probably don't want to come to record.
We could probably do an afternoon episode if you wanted to sit.
Well, he said maybe fall, winter time when the ice business slows a little bit, that he'd make his wife drive so he could have a good time. So
Be
Well,
tough
hell
to
yeah.
sell a bag of ice in the winter.
in the winter, yeah, probably a little slow.
Well, it depends on how much you like your cocktails, unless you like a whiskey slushy.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. How are you fellas? Everything going well?
Going great, going real good, boss, real good.
Real good.
I feel like dog shit.
Atta boy.
Yeah.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
You don't look much better.
I know it.
I think you look great. Little haircut.
I zipped her good, but
you look fresh.
Hell yeah.
I tightened her up.
How's the wife keep her paws off you?
She don't.
She don't. Very lucky. Here we are, folks. This is our spring-summer recording schedule. We're only once a week, so we're sorry if you missed us on Wednesday. I saw a friend of the program, Chuck Norris. I was at the funeral home. His brother passed away, and I went and paid my condolences, and he said he showed up for a Wednesday episode, and then,
We weren't there.
We weren't there.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, we just slimmed it down a little bit. Busy spring. Summer's busy for everybody. So we do this, but we get back to the fall, winter time. We may be back
Yeah,
to you
you
twice
never
a
know.
week.
You
Yeah,
never know.
everybody's a little busy right now. Mace is out there, taking care of the streets of Huntingburg.
Don't rope me into that.
Oh.
I think you
No.
roped yourself in
Why?
when you accepted the job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just taking a lot of flack right now.
Oh.
Pretty tough
The
around.
first street is tough sledding right now.
Pretty tough around town nowadays.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Well, you're our favorite street employee.
No,
Hell yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple close seconds. That Atkins boy that lives just down the road, he's a good boy, too.
Yeah.
There's also some dead lasts.
There are a couple.
Yeah.
And you're not there.
Good.
By the way, I just want to let you know, after your ADHD...
Go ahead and walk right into the camera there, babe. No big deal.
Oh, yeah. There
Nothing
you
stuck
go.
here.
You just saw the back of Jennifer Shell's head. That's one of them POV things you see on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So, by the way, big fella, I had a lot of questions raised about your ADD after the topic, and
Yeah.
I said I really just don't know. You got to direct those questions to him.
By who?
Just people, just general public.
Oh, yeah.
The GP.
Yeah,
You had a lot of questions, huh?
Just a few. Like, is his ADD really that bad? I said, yep, it is. It is.
Hey, you know what?
Walk a mile in these shoes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to. You got
On the way you make it.
pretty good sized feet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you wear what, 13, 14,
15.
15?
Big socks.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's what they
socks.
say.
Mm.
That's what they say. So,
Yeah, well,
baseball season's come to an end.
Bet you got a lot of square inches of toenail with a foot that big.
believe it or not, I don't have very big toenails.
No,
I don't
good.
have a pinky toenail.
What happened to that one?
They just don't grow. Like there ain't nothing.
So you
there.
just got a little fleshy little appendage down there.
Yeah.
So you're lucky enough to only have to trim 8 toenails.
Huh.
Well, the nice little Vietnamese woman named Tracy that did it.
Very original Vietnamese name.
Yeah.
Vietnamese.
When I think of Vietnamese people,
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
when I think of Vietnamese
Your
names
V's at your knees. You
for
Led a heck of a
woman,
life.
Tracy is definitely the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's what I would go
Yeah,
with.
but anyway, I went. That was when I was in Arizona. I got my dogs.
Oh,
Clean.
by the way,
I got cleaned up.
speaking of Arizona, I was up at work and I was walking down to our EDR, which is employee dining room, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody that
Checks
had
out EDR.
had an advertisement for, hey, you're getting married and don't want to get married in a church? I'm an ordained minister, can marry you anywhere you want to marry. So there's already a market out there.
Good, brother. Good. I got the videos tonight. Actually, today, of the whole deal. If you want to watch it, I'll show you.
I'm sure it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, well, when we build your website and everything else, we'll,
yeah, we'll put that on.
Put that on
We'll get
there,
that out
like, happy past customers.
yeah.
You think that, I bet people post that. You think if folks get divorces, they take them off?
No. Let
Just leave it on there. It's still a marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still marriage.
It didn't last.
I just wonder if, like, as an ordained minister, or if you're in that business, do you kind of like make it an advertising ploy that, like, hey, 92% of my marriages stay married?
No,
You don't advertise that?
no, because it doesn't. You don't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and
You're
if you're doing a fly by night thing and they're coming,
What's them classes you got to go to when you marry a Catholic gal and you're not a Catholic guy? What the hell's them called?
Marital classes?
Well, there's an actual name for it.
There is.
in,
I don't remember it.
in Catholicism, but now that guy might take some shots. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
because he's the one that says.
Yeah,
when Janelle and I went through that, we scored.
who wasn't Catholic?
No, you go through it.
Oh, either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
So,
Huh?
Oh,
there it is.
There it is.
Pre-cancer.
so when we did
Yeah.
ours with old Deacon Tom, he said, you guys are very compatible. And I thought, well, that's good.
Father Ryan told Justine and I, "You sure? You sure about this?" I'm like,
well,
yeah, Padre, we've been in this a long time. You know?
but his
Old Judge Akers up there in Brazil on
Judge
New
Akers.
Year's Eve, he was like, well, you folks ready to get this done? We're like, hell yeah, brother. And, 4:30 there in the afternoon, New Year's Eve,
that's wild. He did that 4:30 in the afternoon on
was
New Year's Eve.
hitched.
Yep. My boss at the time told me, he's like, hey, if you were smart, you'd get married on New Year's Eve because you get the entire year. Your taxes show that you're married. So as late as you can on New Year's Eve, that's what you want. He's like, that'd be your only time to ever really stick it to the man. So when I called down there, he gave me the guy's number. He said, you called Judge Akers. I said, I want the latest appointment you can give me on New Year's Eve, if that's okay. He's like, well, how's 4:30 sound? I said, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
So me and Jenna Michelle and her folks, Becky, we went down there to the
Becky.
courthouse.
Who is Becky?
Jenna's BFF.
Oh, okay.
She was there for the nuptials.
Oh, she was the witness.
Mm.
You didn't have anybody there?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Hey, by the way, I saw your parents got a little block laid behind their house. What's
Yeah.
going on there?
Big stuff happening down there on 5th Street.
They gonna pour a back porch or what?
No, they're building on. They're bringing the mom's laundry room, bringing it upstairs.
Well, she needs to have it
yeah,
upstairs.
and they're just putting an addition on. They were trying to. They've been looking for places all the time. Dad's a big blow bag and always wants to go. I want to go buy this property and build me a. Oh my goddamn! I got a knee. Sorry.
I got two of them.
I got
two
two of them
knees,
for sure too.
But anyway, he just, they never settle on anything. So finally, Mom said, piss on it. We're not going anywhere. We'll just fix up what we got. And the plan is to build on, bring the laundry room upstairs, fix it off, do something with an office or something, sunroom, this and that, and then if that goes all seamlessly and good, he wants to maybe tear his garage down and build a nicer room with a bigger porch. And
Well, hell yeah.
stuff like that. Because,
You got to have a shop.
retirement,
spending your
stuff
inheritance.
Hell
though.
yeah.
You got to keep an eye on
Good
that.
for him. You know?
Hey, I'm a firm believer. Spend it.
They have done more for me than I could ever expect.
I saw your old man a couple weeks ago, too.
Yeah.
Saw him out there.
Yeah.
He said hi.
Yep.
He called my dad and I trouble. I don't know if he must have been talking to my dad. It wasn't.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a trapper. Yeah, he's big. He was trapping. He was Jeremiah Johnson. He was out there when we were in Arizona trapping. I think he got 4 coons and 1 possum. Eating cat food.
The fact that there was the surprise that the raccoons are into your cat food is not a surprise to anybody.
Why?
That knows the operation.
What do you mean?
I mean, those raccoons have a golden corral there.
Well, how else you supposed
God dang, I haven't been to Golden Corral in a coon's age,
to?
I'm
not
telling you.
allowed to.
Why not?
That's a hog trough.
Justine don't like 'em.
Yeah.
Now, my bride will go to
That's
a China buffet, but
white
she don't
trash
want
people.
nothing
I don't
to
know
do
why
with
we don't go to the Golden Corral. We just load up one rainy afternoon.
it. You know
and
how
take a
close
trip.
we were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Of course, Big Mace was driving.
Oh,
There had to be one
that
close.
was close.
yeah, Bedford. There's one in Bedford yet.
Is it in Bedford?
Yeah,
Well, the one in Bloomington, I think, closed.
probably.
God, I want to go to Golden Corral. That gravy
You gotta go-
fountain.
You got to go like 9:30 in the morning.
Did you see that shit bag on YouTube that made a comment about how, yeah, the dad tax exists, but maybe you guys need to back off it a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. And then
I
he
love
said he was a fellow Dutchman.
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
don't- So that is good. Everything's there. Like, by the way, if you're listening to the show, we are on YouTube. We are
Yeah.
on Facebook. We splice
Anywhere you
reels
can get
out.
a podcast.
We
going.
put them out there.
Yeah, we
You know, it was amazing. The sentimental reel this week was a big hit. The one about call your mom.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was a big one.
Yeah.
Touched some hearts there. You know, we're not all laughs here. We get pretty serious sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Which, speaking about
Or achy.
yeah, speaking of seriousness, serious as a heart attack, Dave.
Oh, boy. Salt causes that.
I just want to let the listeners know that old William Smokers had a heart attack
Yep, the 7-year-old.
and he survived and he's okay.
That's not funny.
Well,
He's the one telling that rumor.
he's the one telling that rumor. He told my 7-year-old daughter that salt's bad for you because it causes heart attacks, and
that one.
and then that he had one and he's a survivor. So, and Zoe told it to me with such conviction that I had to look into her pretty little eyes and say, "Honey, I can promise you,
That kid's
not have
full
a
of
heart
shit.
attack."
That kid is full of shit.
That William Smoker tells you any other stories you don't believe him. But kids, they say the darndest thing.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
true.
They say it. So, anything else exciting going on? It's been a couple weeks since we've been together.
No, it's
These
hot.
beers sure taste good tonight. It's
Humidity's,
Oh, it is.
the humidity's back.
It is
I'm thrilled about
it is
that.
beer drinking season. And the humidity, I tell you what, we may, that dry heat that you experience in Arizona.
We ain't got that here.
No, we're getting in that worst part of the season.
Speaking of them Vietnamese toe cutter ladies, it feels like we're in the jungles of Vietnam.
Oh,
Man, I
boy.
bet that's a terrible job in the summertime. Just everybody's stanky ass feet,
I couldn't do it.
propping them up on the, like you see the
They
cartoons.
put them in a
little,
water bath first. Cut that.
You got to get them.
cut that stank.
I'd get one of them where I got the infection that you hear those horror stories. You
like
hear
the
them all the
cartoons
time.
with the green vapors coming
Yeah.
off the end of them. Daggone ingrown toenails.
I was gonna buy a pair of Birkenstocks. I was gonna free.
I got
my
a
toes.
pair of camouflage ones in the house.
I was gonna free my toes this summer, and I just couldn't do it. That self
Camouflage Burks.
Yeah, hell yeah, Jenna got them for me. And I liked wearing them until I seen some gal at a ball game wearing them. And I'm like, well, bullshit. Because I got these,
Bit shins.
I got petite feet.
I
boys.
loved my Burks when I could wear them. I wore the
Why
shit
can't
out
you
of
wear them now?
Because my feet,
Bunions?
My feet are.
No.
They're hard to break in, Jenna.
Hey,
said.
why don't you call our buddy Dr. Travis Hubbig over there at
Again?
Indiana Foot and Ankle?
Again?
We need to catch up with T Hubs.
Well, yeah, we need to get him back on the show. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We ought to send him a text during this one. Now, how in the hell did you break? Are those broken lenses or sweaty lenses?
They're full of water.
I'll
How'd
be
that
damned.
It flopped out of my pocket into my pool.
Well, at least it ain't blue water.
That's true.
Yeah.
So no wonder you said your phone's not working very well.
Fogged up.
You just dumped it into the pool. That one's not that old, is it?
No.
You got that one after the truck incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The truck napping.
Well, he's been
Not napping, just stretching out, but I mean,
he was just relaxing because he'd been working hard
yeah.
paving the streets, putting salt and brine
I don't know why I said napping.
In the wintertime.
in the wintertime.
Doing
Yeah.
a lot of paving in the winter. You guys are morons.
We didn't say you were paving. We said you were plowing.
You did.
Roll the tape back.
You said paving.
Did I say paving or plowing?
I'm going to
Yeah.
do some plowing here in a minute. Hey, speaking of plowing, let's hear from our buddy Jumping Jacks.
Looking for a way to beat the heat and keep the kids busy this summer? Jumping Jacks Entertainment has you covered. For the month of June, when you rent any water slide or wet inflatable on a Monday or Tuesday, you'll get the next day absolutely free. That's double the splash and double the fun. With over 20 awesome water slides to choose from, Jumping Jacks has exactly what you're looking for. It's hot, but this summer just got way cooler with Jumping Jacks Entertainment. Give our buddy Justin a call today at 812-639-4696.
All right, big fella. Big thank you to Jumping Jacks. It's early to talk about it, but the porch party will be coming up soon. We'll talk to my buddy Justin over there, and
Hell yeah.
we'll have something for the kiddos. But big fella, what you got?
Well, this is kind of a get off my lawn. These stinking ass kids topic, but I wanted to talk about aging children, new age problems involved, and make a bold statement by saying that our parents had it made.
I bet they'd beg to differ.
So
Okay.
lately, which I don't know, I've heard Dave express dismay about this before, but it was before Wyatt had his driver's license. And the thing that I'm talking about is that my kids have been making plans with other kids
Okay.
via the phone or one of the messaging apps or Xbox or going to Champions Club in the morning and talking and plotting and all this shit. And then like wanting these plans to come to fruition without ever running it by like their authority figures.
Okay.
And it's just really pissing me off lately.
I can understand that.
And when I say that, it's like, for example, my parents are retired.
Correct.
Okay. So I have a full-time job. My wife has a full-time job.
My wife.
And the kids, now that they're on summer break,
Ain't got no full-time job.
they ain't got no full-time jobs.
Well,
So like today,
send it brother love.
So today, I'm at work. I get a phone call from my son first. Hey, Dad, have you gotten a text message from so-and-so's mom? No. Well, you're probably going to.
That's nice of him to warn you.
And then he said that she's going to take me to Holiday World. And I'm like, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, what am I mean, I appreciate you letting me know that you're going to Holiday World.
Correct.
Allegedly.
But like, I don't know what I can do to aid in this adventure because I'm at work, you know?
Yeah.
Or, hey, can I go to DBAT today? And I said, no, we got so much other stuff going on. Okay. Well, then like I come back upstairs or come wherever, and he's like getting his bat bag together and shit. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm going to DBAT. And I'm like, I already told you that we don't, like, I can't today. Like, I got too much on the schedule. Oh, no, I called Papaw. He's taking me. And I'm like, buddy, we're going to a get together like later as a family. Like
Obviously, he's not.
you can't. So I guess that's the thing that really chapped my ass lately is that
Other than Jorge.
yeah, that they've R.I.P. He's toast. He's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's
Congratulate.
The hemorrhoid on my asshole.
Oh,
The hemorrhoid on my asshole.
It was like a ping
As
pong
opposed to the
ball.
hemorrhoid in your armpit.
It's a ping pong
you get a
ball.
hemorrhoid in your armpit?
No.
No, that's what. Never.
Because
you
aren't
can't.
hemorrhoids technically just like a
Busted blood vessels. Yep.
yeah? So
in your
technically
anus.
you could. Oh,
Yeah, strictly in your
specific
asshole.
to it. Did you use a little preparation H or witch hazel or
No. When they get real angry, you do.
did
I don't think I've ever had a hemorrhoid.
did Justine just massage it out for you?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No.
Tux is
It hangs
witch
in there
hazel.
like a speed bag.
Really?
I've definitely never had one of those.
Yeah, like like what the boxers.
Yeah, it's the speed bag.
That's
correct.
It's right there on your asshole.
Just hanging down.
Not like flappy, like
that thing in the back of your
your
throat.
uvula. No, not like that. Your vulva, your
That's-
hymen.
Vulva and hymens is in your
Hymen.
It's
vagina.
not your hymen.
Hymen hurt.
Oh my
Yeah, my hymen.
man, we've been doing this so long. I forget some of the shit we
I
talked
know.
about.
yeah. There's some that don't though.
Yeah,
Yeah. But so then that's one. And then my daughter's doing the same shit. Like today I'm at work once again. My mom takes them to volleyball camp.
Yeah, Zoe participated too.
Yeah. Get a phone call. Dad? Uh-huh. Can I go to so-and-so's house after volleyball camp? Her mom says it's okay. And I'm like, what? Like, where's your grandma? She's right here. And I said, well, I thought you were going with it. Well, yeah, but I want to do this instead. Is that okay? Can you pick me up after work? And it's just like, I want to go home after work.
Sleep in the driveway.
Yeah, and take my driveway nap, take a shit, shower, relax a little bit because it was hotter than balls today. And it just really has been pissing me off lately about like the kids and their manipulative plans and like
Well, you did that when you was a kid.
I know, but it was more like, hey, have your mom call my mom.
Yeah, and
to
then
see
she'll
if-
tell you that it's okay that I stay the night.
Yeah,
If
like-
you ask, she'll say yes.
Yes, like that kind of stuff definitely happened when we were younger. But I would just walk my happy ass down to Ian's and spend the night. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a lot of times driving involved or,
Yeah.
I got to be picked up at this time in the morning because I've got my buddy's got a travel baseball tournament in Africa that he's got to leave. For-
felt the rain down in Africa.
Right. So, it's like there's always these huge stipulations like I really want to go. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I get it, but I really don't want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and pick you up because such and such has got plans already.
To leave for Africa for a travel baseball tournament.
Yeah. So I
Weston
don't know.
just tried this tonight. He stayed at a buddy's house last night after Holiday World. And he came in and I was in the shower. So after I got done working on the pool, I took a shower for tonight.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want to be grungy and sweaty. I just want to be regular sweaty.
Yeah.
Dad! Yeah, buddy. Can I stay at such and such's house? I was like, no. I got to ride both ways. I was like, you got an acolyte Sunday. Today's Friday. I was like, yeah. But your shit's already f***ing up my weekend schedule. So, no, you can stay home.
That's the thing that I think pisses me off the most. And I fall victim to this a lot. And I feel
And I'm not judging the acolyte. You got to do that. But
When
it's
I
like,
look-
God dang, we
that
get
what?
when I look
acolyting at church.
candles,
You light the
light
candles.
extinguish.
And then you hold
It's the Lutheran form of altar boys.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Servers type
Server-
stuff.
yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like altar boy is kind of a rough statement. That's a tough title.
Altar
Yeah.
server.
Altar server. Yeah.
Server.
Server.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
But I think that's the thing that pisses me off the most is that like I kind of mentally prepare for the weekend. Like I've got to finish things up in the bathroom. The dishes our house looks like a fraternity. You know what I mean? Because we've been running and
Do you
gunning-
want me to come down and judge that? Because I lived in a fraternity house for 4 years.
running and gunning all week.
Is
You
your
know,
I
carpet
think he
sticky?
just let you go. He's like, I don't even want to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
yeah. Nobody gives a shit about your hoity-toity fraternity there, Sigma Alpha.
Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
What is it?
You were privy to?
Alpha Epsilon Sigma Chi Phi.
We were Lambda Chi Alpha.
Yeah,
Shout out.
imagine that.
Shout out.
If you can't go Greek, go Teak. And if you can't go Teak, go the home. You ever heard that?
Our teaks were different there at the University of Evansville.
But anyway, you got all these plans already like planned out. And then here comes these kids just throwing a whole bucket full of wrenches in them, you know? And
Plus,
it's like,
your bride's working this weekend.
yeah. So that was another thing. Like,
Because she don't care because she's going to work.
Yeah.
So it falls onto you.
sure, which is fine because that's what I told her today. Was she called me, you know, sometime after work and when I got home and could tell I was a little frazzled. I said, "What?" She goes, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Nothing. It's just like I've got a bunch of like mind controlling robots that are telling me about all these plans that they've made, and I got to run here and do this and take this kid here and then when you get, you know, and then like when you get home and you say, hey, your mom wants you to sort the laundry if you don't mind. Ugh, what? You know, so then I go and spend $50 on pizza and get them all pizza to eat.
Is there a critter?
That's a frog.
Mm.
No piss toad here. Here, bring him up here on the table. He can hang out.
Yeah, you can hang out on the table. Now, see, my problem with it is, and I've had this conversation with my bride before, and this isn't anybody else's problem other than mine, but I'm a planner.
Yeah.
No.
Like when I go to work in the
He's a
morning, like,
planner.
I can't tell you how often I'll text Jenna at 7:30 in the morning, what do you want to do for supper tonight? And Jenna, just the way Jenna is, she has no freaking idea what we're going to do for supper in, 12 hours.
Yeah.
And
Which
I
is
plan
probably
my
what
whole
most sane beings
day, my whole day. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to work. That's going to suck. Then the kids got baseball, and I got to drive here, and I got to do that. And most of this is probably because, and I've been so busy I can't do this, but my whole day revolves around when can I crack a beer? And here lately, it's been like once a week, which is horse shit. But then you start getting like, hey, Dad, can I go spend the night at such and such's house? When? Like, no?
Yeah.
No, just my ass.
I know. That's the thing that pisses
I'm
me
on the
off.
shitter. I've been sweating my sack off all day. I took PTO to build this gosh dang pool because mainly the kids are going to enjoy it. I mean, I'll get my good fair share.
I was going to say, you get your pool time in there.
Normally at night when the stars are out and everybody's in bed and I'm just out there floating and drinking the sweet, sweet fruitberry wine.
Oh, fruitberry wine.
But, but that's my biggest problem with it. Like, if you want to tell me 3 days before that you want to stay the night at little Johnny's house and you've got a ride figured out, even if you don't, yeah, hell yeah, we'll figure it out. I can plan for that.
Yeah.
But you don't come telling me at noon on Friday that you want to stay the night at your buddy's house at 12:30 on Friday, because I was here to tell you, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
But now, of course, he's getting smart. I got to ride both ways. And I'm like, okay. Little Johnny's parents must think I'm a piece of shit because they got to drive both
It's what
ways.
I'm thinking. It's what I'm saying because a lot
And
of
then
times.
the other night when we were at your house, you got caught in the crossfire because I felt bad for you, buddy, because you reacted the same way I would have. Hey, Dad, can I go to Holiday World tomorrow with blah, 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 blah? Your mom's talking to somebody, Max. Asking a f***ing minute. His mom's on the just asking a f***ing minute, and the whole time he's got this kid's mom on the phone,
Right.
and you're reaming his ass about, like, hey, don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, like
And then that was real awkward. And she's like, hey, yeah, I'll come get him.
it was
But,
yeah. So we're sitting in the garage conversating,
And he just
and
shoved
he
the
just
phone
he
in the
just
warden's
rams right up into the conversation. He's like, "Mom, hey, can you talk to her?" Yeah. Like, hey, and I'm like, Max, can you just give her a second, man? Well, she's on the phone. I said, I don't give a goddamn if she's in an airplane hovering over the roof. Like you're in the middle of a conversation here, and you're being a turd bucket. I don't know. I think it's just part of them, either the puberty or the seventh gradeness.
Now, that is where our parents would have had it better because
There's no
most
phones,
of us-
no cell phones.
you was
no
tied to the
social-
wall. You just
Yeah.
had to sit farther than the cord.
So
would
that was
go.
the thing. That's where I was getting at.
But now they just show up with their own phone. Hey,
My parents-
Hey.
My parents got real pissed off at me because I would get on my bicycle and take off riding.
Get on your bikes and ride!
To Holland, and they wouldn't know where I was, and as long as I was home by so-and-so time, but then I would never be home by that time, so then they would just go driving around. And then they would find me, and then my ass was grass. Like, it happened a lot. It was a big thing. A lot of friends laughed about it, da-da-da. But the thing is, nowadays, like, that's why I say our parents had it made. Like, my parents, since we lived in Holland, like, they ran their nuts off taking me to the sports, taking my brother to the sports, doing all the stuff. But now I feel like our kids have so much more opportunities to ditch us or do other things or, whatever. And now it's just like you literally just, I don't want to ditch out on my kids because one of these days they're not going to want to hang out with me.
My kids don't want to hang out with me.
Like Justine's told me that before. Like, you go in there and you tuck her in because one of these days she's not going to want you to do that anymore. And I'm like, well, when does that start? Because, like, I'm already in bed. Like no, I'm just being she's like, you asshole.
Dad of the year.
You asshole. You get your ass in there, But it's like, give me a break, When you run 4 days a week through the evenings, with the softballs and the
I had a near shit fit
basketballs.
the other day. 'Cause
You know
I
what I
thought
mean?
Weston took the golf cart to the windmill chill. Come to find out, he left with a buddy. But I didn't even know he left with a buddy. His buddy was like, hey, he asked if he could come. It's cool with you. It's cool with me. Cool. Appreciate it. Yeah, that'll work out. Let me talk to Jenna. Well, then shitbag in there. I don't know if he talked to Jenna or talked to me, but I was like, well, we'll figure it out. But he never said nothing when he left. He just left. And I looked on. Now, this is something our folks didn't have. I looked on that Find My because that kid's got a cell phone. And I'm like, that little shitbag's at the windmill chill. And last I'd seen him, he was driving the golf buggy. And I nearly had a high-speed coming apart. I texted, you call me right now. And I called him. He didn't answer. I called him. He didn't answer. I was like, you better call me. If you ever want to see daylight again, you will call me back. And I never heard. And then the warden, she's like, well, he went with his buddy's parents. Well, where's the GD golf cart? I think it was your daughter said, it's right there. I'm like, oh. Nah, NFH. Everything's fine. So I apologized to him. I'm like, God dang, buddy, you got to communicate a little better.
Well, big fella, I wish I could provide a little bit more insight, and I wish I could help a little bit more, but, we just don't have it in our household yet. Like I said earlier there, 7, 5, and 2. We just don't have it. But I think some of it is the precedent is set because I mentioned it. My parents' favorite word was no. And I think you just got to use no more. I'm not in any position to, hand out parenting advice because, I'm just not. I don't have teenagers.
Now, see Wyatt Smoker now. I'm going to tell you what, and you're exactly right about setting the precedent. I was scared to death. I never held a baby in my life until my oldest child was born.
Well, most men don't because it's just awkward.
Yeah, you don't hold babies. And they went to give me this child, and I was like, okay.
I'm ready. Have your shirt on or off? Did you go straight skin to skin contact?
On. I would not have done that at that point in time in my life. It weirded me out.
Were you wearing a pearl snap or what? Pack of Marlboros in the front pocket?
Probably very possible, and I guarantee I had cigarettes on me. 100%. When the second kid was born, not only was I probably wearing a pearl snap and had cigarettes on me, but I went and bought a golf cart shortly after he popped out of there.
Jenna can't say no, and she's still got that epidural in.
But yeah, I was like, well, babe, we're going to go get some food. My mom happened to come up and visit, and I think my sister was there. And I was like, we're going to go pick something up. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Go pick something up to eat. I'm like, okay, we'll be back. And I went and wheeled and dealed on this blue Yamaha G1 golf cart. And then we got some chicken of some sort. But at any rate, with Wyatt,
chicken of some sort.
I was so scared to death at kids, like I didn't know what to do. So I'm like, hey, you better knock that off now. And he's an infant. And somewhere in his toddler age, like he was, and I think a lot of kids do this, he was getting an attitude. And he was getting to where he'd hit if he didn't get what he wanted. So he was probably 2. And he smacked old Jenna Michelle. And I snatched that kid up from her. I was like, hey, you don't hit my wife. I don't care who you are. Telling this to
Only I can hit her.
And I sat him down on the ground. I'm like, you just sit there and think about that. And then she started crying, and she got up and went to him. I said, I swear to Christ, if you touch that kid, I'll hit you too. And then she's bawling. She is bawling. And then it wasn't 28 seconds later on that 1950s house I had, I heard the dish guy was coming. So Jenna's bawling, the kid's bawling, and I opened the door, probably no shirt on.
What do you want, asshole?
Come on in, dickhead. Don't you stir no shit in here. That's probably why it turned out so good. I was a lot sterner with him, but yeah, god dang, I was. Don't you touch that kid.
I can see just
I'll
Dave,
swat your ass too.
wild turkey, one hand, cigarette. Only I can do that to your mom, boy. Sit your ass down and learn a lesson.
Damn, she ain't gonna be proud of that story, but it happened. But look at that kid. He's a damn good
He's a good
kid.
boy. He's a good
Hell
boy.
yeah.
Real good.
Well, I tell you what, you're talking, you talk about that age where they're really pushing your buttons. I love Rhino to death. Boy's 5 now. But that boy and me, like, I've got to stay in the weight room because one day he's gonna be meaner than a junkyard dog. And I want him to be, like, when it comes to sports and other stuff and standing up for what you want to do. But I still want you to be sweet to your mother and be that sweet boy at home. But he and I, we're going to fight someday.
Yeah, William's probably never moving out, and he's going to be bigger than I am. So I either got to get him buffaloed or I got to get bigger.
Well,
Because one of the two of us is going down the basement stairs in a tumble.
yeah, it's crazy.
Better be one big ass staircase.
I had to make them wide.
Yeah, it's wild. But hey, buddy, you know what? Your kids, they still love you, so that's the important thing.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I think they love you. I haven't asked them.
Probably.
I think they do.
Yeah.
Ellie does for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's
oh,
a
yeah.
sweetheart.
For sure. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's a good girl.
What do you want to talk about?
Fellas, I kind of saw a little interesting news article. And we've all been aware of the severe weather we've had in our neighborhood
Oh, yeah.
this past spring. It sounded like metal on metal.
Yeah, you guys heard it too then, huh?
Yep.
That's William, probably William out there beating on 2 half-inch wrenches together.
Waiting on me to get out of here.
Come on out here. Come on out here, old man. Get your ass whooping now. So I was, I stumbled across a couple interesting articles, and one of the articles was discussing the moving of Tornado Alley, and that how our severe weather events that we have dealt with here in southwestern Indiana here in 2025
Well, if Indiana DOT does, it's going to take a decade or two.
may become more prevalent and more of the norm than what it once was for the area.
My kids, I think they learned, they actually did a little studying on this at school because they came home talking about it as well, about how that Tornado Alley has actually.
Yeah, so there's an eastward shift of Tornado Alley, eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, western Kentucky is where we fall into that. Because if you guys remember, Owensboro's been hit a couple times this year.
Oh, yeah.
And some of that comes along the lines, western Alabama there. So there is some data that is backing the shift. So NOAA, which is the our National Oceanography.
I don't got my phone. I just downloaded the NOAA weather app. I bet our one guy in the crowd knows.
Tyler was just kind of waiting for you to butcher your way through that.
It's the National Oceanic.
Oceanic.
We're going to call it NOAA. NOAA data indicates that while the total number of tornadoes is fairly steady, their geographic region or concentration is changing. Tornado frequency has decreased in traditional zones like Kansas and Oklahoma, and more frequent and deadly tornadoes are occurring in parts of the southeastern United States, especially at night and non-spring months. Because most of ours, when outside of that one that kind of just hijacked us late in the afternoon, most of that has been in the evening. So some of the reasons why it is shifting: climate change, of course, changes in jet stream position, land use changes, higher dew points further east, making more available moisture fuels severe storms. So
Go ahead, Bill Nye. What you got?
Now,
He's been chomping at the bit. He's ready.
here we are thinking that I haven't thought about this until just now.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
God.
Now, we say Tornado Alley is shifting. But what if
The United
our
States.
weather is not based globally as we think, but more universally? And as the poles are shifting slowly over time, our globe is just shifting. And those things are staying in the same place they are universally. And maybe weather has nothing to do with our north and south poles as much as it does the north and south and
I
the east
think
and the
it,
west of our
I think it's
universe.
all government weather control.
wow.
HARP.
HARP.
Okay, go on.
HARP. You never heard of HARP?
No.
Government weather control?
Hot ass
Rain-
Russian
Well, when they did that rain when they did that
tired.
rain in Abu Dhabi, you remember when they did that a couple summers ago?
Did you guys
They
see where
fired
that
stuff out
pill
in the
that
clouds?
everybody's been seeing, the UFO, is actually a United States government thing?
What do you mean?
Allegedly.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
We'll go into it. He's talking about HARP and not saying any more. You're going into UFOs.
I'm just saying.
I feel
that-
like we're a little cagey right now. We just ought to let the cat out of the cage.
Well, I didn't read the reports, but there was somebody that was close, like past retirement, getting on in age, and like you've all heard about the UFO pill that's like it's here and then it's there and it's here and it's here and it's there and it's over and ever. And apparently that's just the government's technology. We've had it since like the 60s because Tesla had some Nikola Tesla, not
Not
not that
Tesla.
dickwad. But apparently he had some things going on for like magnetic propulsion
okay.
and whatnot.
Which
And
would make sense because the ground emits some sort of magnetic.
our whole atmosphere, everything. Yeah, it's all magnet. That's how the universe works.
So you think it's just the UFOs have been a government snow job forever?
Oh, we had to learn it from somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's been a government snow job.
Okay. Well, but it kind of brings.
Really taking your course off track or your topic off course track.
No, well, I mean, it's all related. I mean,
This says that HAARP is a
So it's HARP.
HARP. The primary HARP research facility located near something, Alaska, is situated 26 miles northeast. The university is owned by Fairbanks. It's all about the old weather control where they shoot cannons. Oh, it says here, HARP's capabilities are far below the energy supplied naturally by the sun, and its effects from its operation quickly dissipate, meaning it cannot control or manipulate the weather. But see, a lot of folks thought it did.
well, hey,
Yeah.
hey, folks at home, we're clearing up those conspiracies that just aren't quite true.
Or is that just a cover up because they do?
It is a cover up.
Uh-huh.
It is.
That was a
cover-up.
whole thing, man. Like the chemtrails and the contrails in the sky.
I mean, there's people that absolutely believe that, though.
yeah, I know.
Do you?
I don't not believe
Hey,
it.
when you're flying around there, Flyboy, do you guys just pump serious heavy metals into the atmosphere out of your air?
We have a pilot in the audience.
We burn whatever fuel they put in us.
That's right. They'll burn whatever fuel they put in us.
Hell yeah.
Burn it.
Man, I was thinking about you on my trip to Punta Cana, actually, because I was having a
Not in
think.
Mexico, by the way. Just letting you know.
I was having to think about navigation and flying and altitude and the curvature of the earth. I'm not a flat earther. But there's some things that people say, and I'm like, the maths maybe make me think that there could be something there. And I'm not saying it's flat. I'm not going to say that. Because that's an awful bold statement to make.
Very bold.
But I also saw a meme Mimi. That they're shaped like a hot dog.
Oh,
And that's
shit.
bullshit too. But you know what? If you can convince me it's round, why couldn't it be a square?
Hot dogs aren't square though, brother.
I'm just saying, man. Like
Oh,
if it was an oblong cylindrical with, the torus on each end type of thing. Anyway, I wish I could remember what it was. I was like, I got to ask Tyler about this because that seems like it's a contradiction of something. We got to talk about that later.
yeah. We'll
I
work
also
it out.
need to talk to you about becoming a helicopter pilot because I had a buddy that did that, and I want to know the legality of me just parking a helicopter anywhere where I can fit it because I think I can. And that goes back to we've talked about this. My little drunk copter.
Oh yeah, and Big Mason and I said it's a bad idea.
And I've weighed that out, and I appreciate your opinion, but
Still gonna do it.
potentially.
You look at it like that old scraggly bastard on Mad Max whenever he was had that like pedal copter that was geared up 50 times and it would
That
run.
wasn't Mad Max. That was Waterworld.
Was it Waterworld? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Something along them lines. Tornado Alley has moved, and that's not a good thing because it's
That's a question.
getting closer to us. I don't
mean,
like
it's kinda-
tornadoes.
I don't like them either. I talked to
Naders.
I know a fella from Florida, not Florida Man, but another fella from Florida. Which, by the way, Florida Man's expecting a little baby girl in
Oh.
I think it's August, October.
Now, isn't he
November?
from this neck of the woods originally?
Oh yeah.
Is he ever going to come back by? Maybe we should have him in here. We can blur out his face.
Next time he's up, I'll have to see what he's got going on.
Yeah.
He comes up on occasion. Actually, when I head down to the swamp for fall break,
Good grief. You're going down there on fall break?
yeah.
What a guy.
What do you mean?
Seems like a terrible idea.
It is.
Considering your
We went on
cargo.
What's Fargo?
Cargo.
Oh, that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
cat's about to be out of the bag. But yeah, I mean, we've discussed it, we've considered it, and Janelle said there's no way we're not going to do it. So,
Hell, good for her. I'd stay my fat ass at home.
well, but by that point, we're going to be almost 4 months old.
Yeah, that's still good for you. You're saying.
I mean, at this point, it just
You're not going to take in big ass dogs, are you?
that actually was the plan because Monty's getting old. Guys, Monty's starting to slow down. And
you
it's starting
talk
to break
about
my heart.
goddamn 4 chillins, one of them that young, and 2 dogs the size of Volkswagens.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
No, I tell you what though. I mean, you had it with old Rubes, but I've started to notice like a lot of things with Monty, and I'm just like, he's telling me he's dying without telling me he's dying,
Yeah.
and I'm struggling with it. He turned 8 in April. He's been my best friend for a long time, and I
Thanks a lot,
just
dickhead.
I
Hey.
just can't.
Guys, for all you folks at home wondering about how ADD works, I would like everybody in the lounge to take a gander at that upper bottom right window pane over there and look at that frog
Oh yeah, shit. That's
Oh,
pla-
man.
plastered there to the window doing some sort of.
He's just showing his groin right there at all of
he's
us.
dry humping the.
That's not a hoppy toad. That's a different kind of frog.
That might be one of those ones you dip the darts in.
Look, that's not a hoppy toad, Tyler. That's a tree frog.
Can we?
Are they
fry 'em up and eat
poisonous?
'em? No, in the Amazon they are.
One of them dart frogs.
Yeah.
Amazon. We gotta get to the Amazon.
We should have put him on the table. I bet
Huh?
he's colorful.
Yeah.
I thought when you,
You
were
think
saying
that's the same
ADD
frog?
I mean, Tyler would.
He just really wants to be in here.
I let him go on top of the woodpile.
Definitely the same frog.
Which I thought when you said ADD, we went from Tornado Alley to HARP to UFOs to somehow my favorite pup is dying. Like it's been a
To
tough.
frogs on the window.
Speaking of
Frog-
favorite pups, old Dre Dog's over there. He heard us all getting concerned.
Checking out everything.
You heard his name.
Hey, you know what time it is though?
Let's do
Tell
it.
me.
Fellas, it's time for a pause for the cause. But before Brother Dave plays the ad read, I want to thank you guys for supporting the MFL Foundation
Yeah.
because it is near and dear to my heart, my dear mother.
Makes it near to dear to our hearts.
Yeah, we got a junior golf tournament coming up July 9th. Sign-ups are online. Dave will share the link out, I'm sure. But come on out July 9th, play a little golf. It's a good time, a lot of fun, a lot of good.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids. Good community support. And we handed out another $2,000 this year.
Hey,
And,
good deal.
always looking to grow it, and you never know what we may get involved in. The crazy thing of it is our buddy Teddy Hoops and I, we've talked about doing some things, and I'd love for the MFL Foundation to be part of it. But we just got some work, so we
Gotta
like
grow.
To get worked
Gotta
out.
grow.
Yeah, we got to grow a little bit, but we'll play that beautiful ad read, right? Meow.
The MFL Foundation is something that is near and dear to Esquire's heart. The mission of the MFL Foundation is to continue the legacy of Esquire's mother and also provide scholarships for students interested in studying nursing. To raise funds, the foundation hosts a junior golf tournament at Huntingburg Country Club. This year's date is July 9th. Sign your youth golfer up today by heading over to MFL Foundation's Facebook page and sign up via Team Linked.
All right, brother Dave, what you got for us?
All right. Do you guys, all right, I don't want to say talk to yourselves, but do you think to yourselves?
All the time.
And when you think to yourself, does yourself respond to what you're thinking? Like, do you have an inner monologue? Do you
Yes.
and
how I
you see
solve a lot of my
somebody
problems.
going around and you're thinking, when I think, what the hell is this dude doing? That's what's going through my head. And I believe consciousness, in my opinion, happens as soon as you're birthed.
Okay.
And my question is, before you learn your native tongue, what language do you think your inner monologue is in?
You know, I think it depending on how deep you want to go. I think there's a firm belief that it is like some ancient language that we are born with.
Sumerian.
Do you think? Because I've not heard this before, but I wonder if there's like a language of our God that we just
Sumerian.
Yeah.
You've never heard of that?
No, but
Like
I've
the
been really
Anunnaki-
thinking
like
about
the-
this a lot.
The,
lately.
the Anunnaki. And
Yeah. Oh, I know about the Anunnaki and the Sumerians.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they speak. That's the oldest documented language in the world, I believe.
Now, do you think that baby jargon could be that language?
I've never heard I've never heard Sumerian
Has
spoken.
anyone?
Has it? No, nobody has.
Nobody alive today.
So what if Goo Goo Gaga, or you know what I mean?
The baby coos is Sumerian.
What if that's actually a language of our Creator?
I am throwing it out there that I would believe in that.
Because you got to have something. Because I think your consciousness exists as soon as probably before you hit the birth canal. Like somewhere in there, you're human.
I think when the old doc holds you up so they can see, you can see that first time before you cut the cord. I think that's when your consciousness starts. So you think it starts in the womb?
I don't have any evidence to argue one way or the other, but let's just say it's when the doctor's holding you and you've come into oxygen.
You see that light for the first time.
Come into oxygen for the first time, you've got to have a thought. Now, none of us remember it, but you've got to have a thought like, oh, shit.
Okay, you ready?
Go ahead.
On the language of thought hypothesis, our thoughts do take place in a language, but not in a natural language. Rather, our thoughts take place in a kind of mental language, often referred to as mentalese.
Mentalese.
That's how I would have said it.
Yeah.
How do you communicate with a dog?
Monologue form Greek
Shock collar.
alone and also
Yeah.
refer to dramatic scene which actor, yes, soliloquizes, yeah.
Got
Sounds
really
like-
tapered off there.
Yeah, I really kind of didn't understand what that was saying. But yeah, I think you guys ever watch that movie Baby Geniuses? I'm having hella deja vu right now because I think
Have I brought this up before?
I think so. Yeah,
Is this the second time we've talked about
I
this?
believe this might be. Yeah,
But it's okay.
It's all
Casey,
right.
what do you think? Have I brought this up before?
We've talked
Damn it.
about the inner monologue stuff, but I don't know if you've gone.
that probably came in with that
Introspective.
introspection talk too. But I don't think the inner monologue really came in.
we didn't. get this
We've
deep.
talked about.
Wanderers, if you've heard us talk about this before, I apologize.
But going back to Baby Geniuses,
Is that
This
a
does
cartoon?
sound familiar. No.
no, it's a movie.
Damn it. Maybe I did bring this up. I understand.
important mission to take place at Baby Co. We have a very important mission to take place at Baby Co. You never seen?
You remember Look Who's Talking?
No.
Yeah, look who's talking too.
Yeah.
Baby
Is that with
Double O.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Baby Geniuses was
Oh, maybe
a
it was Schwarzenegger.
movie about
How smart they're like geniuses.
Yes.
Until they learn to talk and then they
No.
forget everything
you know when it goes away.
when they learn to talk.
No,
When was it?
they lose their first tooth.
Oh.
No, they get their first tooth.
Negative, lose it. No,
That's
get,
like
get
9.
It. Get it.
That's
You're right.
not
Get
9.
it.
Yeah, it's when they get their first tooth.
Yeah,
Uh,
because they know the secrets to the world. They know the secrets of life. They can speak 50 different languages. They're all super wicked smart.
so what does the getting of a tooth have to do with anything?
It's when
Does that pain just
You're not a
wipe
baby.
it all away?
you're not a baby anymore.
Maybe before that point in time that you're whole as you're made by the Creator, and that's the first time something punctures,
And then it all leaks out.
then it all leaks out.
I don't know. I think there's something to be said because like you hear people that are twins and they have this wavelength communication, this different kind of symbiotic relationship that it's something that's unspoken. So I definitely believe that there is.
Well, and then there's intelligent creatures like dolphins and octopi and whatnot. Like, what if there's just a universal language, and you're on the same page, and you just get indoctrinated by your tribe, which our tribe is pretty big, being the U.S. of A. and more or less most of England.
All that other stuff.
Yeah.
So what if you just
Speaking of England, you guys see that? God dang! Talk about 180 degrees. There was this Tic Tac. I've been on the Tic Tac a little bit again lately, and there was this fellow over there in the UK. And you know how they're doing the 100 man versus a gorilla, and this guy's like, "To heck with that! How about 100 Brits versus 100 Americans?" And everybody's like, "Whoa, you tried that."
Oh my!
it actually would probably 1,000 Brits to 100 Americans.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna go there, but I mean, I think there is. I think there's that.
My twins did a lot of kooky shit when they were babies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think that's a different.
yeah. They've got that. They've got that twin. They're on that twin plane.
Like so much of what you know is just what I shouldn't say what you know. I feel like part of being human, like there's just something that comes naturally. Like you just like morals, everything. Like there's just something that's there.
Like breathing.
Yeah, but beyond farther than just existing. Like every grass exists. It doesn't breathe, but it exists. It's just here. But I feel like humans, like human beings, like we've got morals and we've got conscience.
Some do.
And
Some do.
well, for the most part.
Yeah.
And you've got all that, and you have that regardless of
There's a baseline.
yeah, and with that baseline, that's what makes me wonder. Like, can all babies just understand what other babies are thinking? Kind of like we know dogs can communicate and pick up what the other one's putting down. Like, there's got to be something there, and I'm just curious. Like, is it?
I don't remember.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to, pal.
I
We've all
wouldn't re-
drank since then.
Wouldn't remember. I don't remember what I was like when I was a baby, learning like what shit was and mama and dad and stuff like that. I don't know. So I don't know how to, educatedly answer your question. But
And I wasn't looking for. I
I
don't
would
think
more-
you
I
can,
would-
I don't
I
think
would-
anybody can answer
I would
it
say
with specifics.
it's more of just I don't know. Yeah, like like if you first day on the job type thing, you're just kind of taking it all in, watching, picking up on things, shit like that, and then you just kind of
But you still know that you want to cry. If you're a baby, little bit bambino, you want to cry. Something's wrong. You cry. You do this. You got to have an inner monologue. You got to have something in your system telling
And
you
so
what's
they're
going on.
smart enough to communicate that to the parents. That
And if they're
something's wrong.
smart enough
Well,
to
I
do that
think
and
that's
figure out how to do that, and like between birth and talking, like you'll see all these kids, oh, you can tell that one's spoiled. He just does this because he always gets that, like throwing the shit on the ground, playing the game. If you're smart enough to figure all that out before you talk, like you've got an inner monologue.
well,
And what language is it?
and I think little kids are keen observers
sponges.
of what goes on around them. So they know they have a very high, I would speculate that they have a very high emotional intelligence to what goes on.
In what language is that intelligence in?
Well, I think till it gets to the point where it's English.
Bananas.
Just general knowledge.
But you
I
got,
don't know.
you got an inner monologue. You're talking
No,
to
but
yourself.
I don't think the language is not a language. It's
something though.
it's not a spoken language like that Googs said. It's just a mental ease, it's just a mental, like
But where does that?
It's a state of being. That's what it is. It's a state of being.
it's part of your
But when you're
your
thinking,
soul, like it's
"Man,
when you're born, like it's just something that it's that spark.
I've got something in my diaper and it doesn't feel good. I need this big fleshy bitch to change my diaper. You're thinking it to yourself,
Mhm.
and I want to know what language that's in.
Why does it have to be in a language?
It has to be something you're
Yeah, I know,
thinking.
but you don't put it into words. You just know it's a feeling.
But
And-
you're still communicating. Your inner self is communicating to your outer.
What language does your brain speak to tell your heart to beat?
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't. It just does.
Man, I don't know.
What language does your brain speak to tell your eyes to blink?
Oh,
It doesn't.
damn.
You know what I mean?
It's a state
just
of being.
It's just a thing. Like it just does. It's not a language. Does that make sense?
It does.
So you're looking for a language when in reality it's just a state of being.
It's just a thing.
What if that? And I say language, and maybe I should say that I'm using that loosely. It's just it's just a state of understanding.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I guess I'm curious if that ties into some sort of more divine,
100%.
It's like how deer communicate with a series of grunts and bleats and
yeah.
snort wheezes and things that they make, But like what language does a deer speak?
But at that neural level, if you could crack that code, could you talk to deer? Because
Well, you
the
already
Middle
can.
I'm saying like
Really get down to the nuts and bolts of it. Like,
Like
hey,
big-
like ask him,
what'd you have for lunch yesterday?
what's your name, pal?
Yeah. Tony! You, Tony! What, on that same level, though, it's like you say on that neuro level, what's to say that those deer are not on a very similar or comparative neuro level than what we are?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Is
like,
there a
there's what's to
base?
say-
Is there a base like we are all
What's
living
to say
things
that
on Earth? Is there a wavelength that we could all?
what's to say that
communicate together?
the human race? There's no way you can say that the human race is smarter than that frog that was sticking to that window out there.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
you're right. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying, is there a base? Is there a base knowledge, and I want to say communication, but that's not the word, but we're all made of the same cells, right? Like we're all made of the same atoms, and you break it down to anything that humankind has ever found. We're all made of the same material. Are we all doing and speaking the same language? We've just turned it into our own. Is there a way that you could tie that in? Like when you're born from the womb, like can babies talk to dogs because they haven't learned their own language and just lost their way? Like are we all speaking the same thing as just beings on, in my opinion, my belief, God's earth, and, we're all brought into existence and talk to dogs or the frogs or the
But I think
trees or the bees or whatever.
That goes back though to like in the Bible, the Tower of Babylon, when they destroyed that, because that was the central point of where these people could all communicate, and then all of a sudden
That was almost
because
another
they
topic
had
of mine
sin.
once. Do you think that that app or the company Babel is sacrilegious? Because that's why it's called. That's why you call it Babel. Like, oh, it's just Babel. I don't understand it. Because after the Tower of Babylon, you can't understand what everybody else is saying. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But
Like,
I
at one
think
point in time, we were everybody from any nation, from any place, according to the religion that I'm into, could communicate and understand what each other was saying. And then we built the tower, and we were getting too big for our britches, and
God,
now you're all going to
smited
speak
us.
different languages because you guys are getting too powerful as one. And it never said so much because you had talked to a fish. Could you talk to a flea? Hey there, little feller. Why you biting on me?
but I think
Because you taste good, bitch. You know what I mean?
but I think that's the difference of the
You big, fat, fleshy bastard. Isn't that what you said earlier? That big, fleshy bitch. Changed my diaper. I got that.
But I think that's where the two
Big
sides,
old hot shit in my pants.
that's where the two sides of the argument come from. One side that is probably secular or agnostic would say that's Darwinism, and that's how evolution has worked, because way back when we started eating protein from a fire that caused us to genetically modify ourselves to where our brains advanced further. On the spiritual and religious side, you would say that's God's
Will.
design, the creationism of it. He created man separate from the beast for that reason. So I think that's where you could, like, to your point where you're like, hey, we should be able to talk to a flea or that frog that was outside. Darwinism would say, no, through evolution, you've advanced to this point where frogs haven't. On the religious side, you would say that through God's creation, men and beasts were not meant to be communicated, and that's how you were designed. That was how we were designed from the start.
But still, with that being said, I feel like you can take a four-legged critter, let's just say mammal for this argument, but I'm not strictly saying mammals. You take a mammal from this continent and a mammal from another continent, and they can communicate.
Yes.
But you can take us from this continent, of the same type, right? So you take, both cattle. So you take a heifer from this one and a heifer from that one, and they're both going to bitch about the bull not doing enough bullshit, no matter what continent it's from.
Yeah.
But you take a person from this continent and a person from another continent, and without prior training, they cannot communicate with.
That's
But I would disagree.
total bullshit.
Yeah, I would disagree.
Total bullshit.
Because I would say that you could, to
You
a
could
certain extent,
100% communicate.
you just wouldn't be able to speak the exact language, but there would be some.
Okay,
Not,
I
all,
can
not, all,
define
not
that.
all communication is
Verbal.
verbal.
I think
Okay.
studies show that like 70% plus of communication is nonverbal, anyways. Maybe even 90.
Okay. That's why I brought the topic. This is what I want to hear. This is a good conversation.
Yeah, I mean it is. I just think that depending on what side of the
Because if that
aisle
was
you
the
fall
case,
on.
then when you went to Punta Cana,
Not in Mexico, by the
not
way.
in Mexico,
Dominican.
how in the would you get anything done? Like if
They
you
all spoke English.
okay, so then let's go to we're going to Papua New Guinea on vacation.
You want to know something? I was exactly thinking about
Let's
Papua
go
New
to
Guinea.
Papua New Guinea on vacation, and we're going to go back up into the hills of Papua New Guinea, and some of those tribes have never seen modern human beings.
But to your point,
what are they
I
going
was trying to have a conversation with my transit driver, trying to figure out if I should tip this guy now or if I'm going to tip him later. Because we've got a ride there, we got to get a ride back. We could not figure out. We could not get on the same page. So finally I asked Google, the old translate. You know, I said what I wanted to said, and then I played it for him. He goes, "Oh, same drive. Okay, and then I tipped him on the way back. But we could not get on the same page there. Now, you might... I can see the argument. Okay, are you hurting? I could tell if somebody's hurting no matter what language they speak. Are you sad? Yeah, okay. You could probably get across, I need to eat something. Maybe I'm about to shit my pants. But I mean...
Or I want to bone you.
That'd be a tough one. Well, maybe that's just our culture now.
No, it wouldn't. You come at them with a big old steely throbber and they'll get it.
Figure it out.
If it's a female.
But I think to your part where you're saying, like, couldn't get across to the driver, where do you tip? Like, you could have showed him the old greenbacks.
That's nominal.
Yeah, but that's something that wasn't part of the
communication.
original design of things.
I mean, we were paying tributes way back when. There's always some sort of compensation for the actions. I don't care how far you go back in that Bible.
No, I mean, that's apples to oranges. Communication is communication.
It's all fruit.
Yeah. So before you learn to talk, I think your inner monologue is just it's not a spoken language. It's just a
Survival. Whatever it takes to survive.
instinct. I think it's just like instinctual thoughts. And with you not having
But if
not
you're
to give
saying
old
that, no, hold on. Now, if you're
dipshit down
saying,
the road any credit, but like that learning by experience, you know what I mean? Like that whole thing that he had brought up that night about being able to know what to do by experience.
Part of consciousness is self-awareness. Deer are self-aware, but they don't have a conscience, right? That's what we say.
How do you know they don't?
That's what we say sets us apart. We have morals because we have a conscience. So that's why I brought up in the beginning of this, when do you have consciousness? When do you have self-awareness? If you have self-awareness,
I believe it's learned.
So when you're born,
You don't have that self-awareness.
No, I believe it's.
so no consciousness, no moral compass.
I don't believe you. I believe that's learned. I honestly do. I believe that's
Now that would negate everything I'm bringing up, which is I can buy into.
because you go
But
over,
if
like
you have
you once again
consciousness,
you go over
as soon as
to
you're born, then you must be able to communicate and have complex thoughts of the world and everything around you. That's consciousness, self-awareness.
Yeah, I believe your moral compass and everything like that is a learned thing. Like I don't think it's instinctual, because I believe that like the carnal instinct of humans are just, you go back to Neanderthals and you look at
And this would prove true, because at that point in time, I'm hungry. I got to eat.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill something if I have to.
yeah, I got to shit. I'm gonna go shit.
If that thing dies, I don't care as long as I don't die.
yeah.
If that's where, okay.
But that was all based on speculation. You know what I
No,
mean?
100%.
Because
And I'm not arguing. I'm not
nobody
arguing
was
against
there
it.
to document
Right.
that.
I'm not arguing against it, but that would
One would only
that
assume
would
that was the way that is.
satisfy my question, as there is no inner monologue, because you just have live or die.
Yeah. Sink or swim.
Yeah, irregardless of if the
Eat or
baby
be
in the
eaten.
thing next to you lives or dies, I don't care, because something in me tells me I need to live. If I'm going to live, I need sustenance of some sort.
Yeah.
But if there's self-awareness and consciousness, hey, I'm in bad shape, but if I do this, then that's going to affect this one. That's where that inner monologue would come from.
Yeah.
Okay. That would answer that. But then consciousness then comes at some other time, a learned thing.
Yeah, I believe that. I do. Yeah, because there's no, just like when we remember that one episode that lives in the bowels of the internet that'll never see the light of day.
Helen Keller.
How do you know she's not just finger banging herself in church?
Yeah.
Because there's nobody that's going to be able to tell her not
Just
to.
did it because she felt good.
Because she just did it because it felt good. You know what I mean? What's keeping me
We
from
need to
taking a big
revisit
fat
that
shit in
just
my
for-
hand and just rubbing
just-
it all over your face?
Yeah.
Just watch
If
it.
I didn't know that was bad.
Yeah. That's what I'm driving.
Yeah.
And maybe there is no inner monologue. Maybe at that level, and it's then maybe I'll have a topic in a few weeks of how do you develop that and still get a moral compass.
I think the inner monologue comes as time
Okay.
goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
That was a
Fair
real
enough. Fair enough.
Good one.
There we
Head
go.
scratcher.
It is now time for the Merkley and Sons sponsored segment of Brado's Three Big Things. Of course, Merkley and Sons is the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. And of course, we thank our buddy Brado, who's taken time out of his busy schedule.
Weed whacking.
Busy
Did you
schedule.
see that he'd show you how to do that if you wanted to learn?
What's that?
Oh. He called you out on Facebook, said he wasn't surprised that you wouldn't take a weed whacking job, but if you wanted to learn how to do it, he'd be more than happy to have you down at the country club and show you the ropes.
The only way I'm going to the country club is I'm playing golf and drinking cold ones, boys.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the nature of the beast. That is the nature of the beast.
We heard the rumors. We hope they weren't true, but your social media posts tell us otherwise. The rumor that is true, and not actually a rumor at all, is that for your Memorial Day weekend cookout, you didn't buy your meat from Merkley and Sons. We aren't mad, just disappointed. Wait. Check that. Yep, we're mad, you dumb. Merkley's is the ultimate meat destination for a reason. 4th of July is getting close. Don't screw this up again.
All right, first one here. Okay, a bit of a curveball for this week's topics, as you guys have mentioned or not. The Ohanian clan just returned from a 5-day Disney cruise. First ever cruise. He jotted down some observations from the cruise experience that maybe the Dutchman could discuss. Here we go. Observation number 1, line jumping. A little context for each observation. Each night, the masses would gather for a show being put on by the cruise. Disney themed, of course. And naturally, a line would develop outside the theater before the doors would open. In my mind, it's clear and obvious where the line begins and ends, but yet every night there would be people just either oblivious or not caring, just walking up to the doors to make a second line or what have you. My question to the Dutchman is, what runs through these people's minds as they are passing the rest of us? Obviously in line, it just made my blood boil. I mean, here's
I think people just don't give a fat. I don't think they
exactly
care.
right.
I don't think that guy that cut in front of you gives two shits what you
all
think,
about him.
Mr. Ohanian. He
All
wants
about
to
him.
get his family snuggled into their seats and ready for the show. And,
I'd say that guy thinks I paid as much for my ticket as yours, and what gives you the right to be before me, whether or not you got here before me or not.
Yeah.
Which the reality of it is, unless it is open seating, you shouldn't have let your blood boil on that
Should have
because
just got in front of him.
you got assigned seats anyways. Or be that guy that just calls them out and be comfortable with it. You know,
Or just walk right in front of him. Like, oh, that's what we're doing.
oh,
You're
yeah.
right. Pardon me, fella.
I think the line jumping, I mean, to that extent of where you're at there, Brado, you're kind of all in a very controlled environment. Like nobody's getting off this boat. To that extent, as long as you have assigned seats, like I wouldn't let it bother me too much. But if it's like an open seating plan, that's a poor job on the Disney cruise folks for not having somebody there.
Yeah,
to
they
control
should
that.
regulate that better because that's how you get into anarchy. That's how you get into mutiny.
Well, here's a real example. We've all been on the interstate where it mingles down into a lane because one lane's closed. That guy that drives by you, let's say the left lane is closed ahead and everybody needs to get to the right. That asshole will drive up there all the time and do it. And part of it is, Brado, there's no repercussions
That's right.
because nobody's pulling that guy out of his car or taking him out of that line and beating the piss out of him. So that's why they continue to do it because they know nobody's going to bother him. Observation number 2, using both cup holders in said theater. This one is fairly obvious, but again, another annoyance. Question to the Dutchman. How would you handle this situation?
That's a tough one. That's why I don't go to public places. We lucked out when we went to see Chris Knight that we had in caps. And, but for me, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, for me, fortunately, I always take my bride. And I got both arms anyway. But I do not like sharing an arm with a stranger. I had to when we went to Blackberry Smoke. Very uncomfortable. I guess in my plane thing being uncomfortable. How do you share something? You can't. So the obvious thing to do is nobody takes it, and it just sits unused.
You would sit there with your hands in the lap.
Jesse and I went to that comedy show in Louisville. You would have hated it. I was basically sitting on the old boy's lap next to me. And then the same situation at the concert in Missouri that I just went to last week. It was, oh man, we were packed in there like sardines.
Tight quarters.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, it makes me uneasy. I don't like it.
Brado, no real answer for you. It is tough.
I would just use my one on my right because it's my dominant hand. And normally from the end cap working your way in, you would think that the guy on the outside last seat
Would use his right.
would use his right if there was a cup holder on his right. Now, if there was only a cup holder on his left, then that would mean that everybody in the row would use their one on their left. So I guess whenever you were
There's two ends to every row, pal.
true, but what I'm saying is if you judging that you would start on the right going in because that's the way we would read from, you would think seat one would be on the right.
In the U.S. of A.
Right, yeah. So international waters, who knows?
I think it's situational.
What's observation number 3?
Outward appearances. Do men have a resting bitch face? Which I love how he did the resting
Yeah, he's a
BI percentage sign,
Funny
dollar sign, hashtag H face.
He can't type bitch. He's a teacher.
So obviously, aboard the ship, you run into all kinds of people and begin conversation. We met Esquire's doppelganger. I swear, he looked like he could be your brother. Bald head, big beard. And he was very easy to talk to. So my question to the Dutchman, is there a facial or any other feature that puts one at ease more than others, i.e., big burly beard or the opposite? We met another couple lounging one night, and they just gave off, well, I'm too good vibes. Thoughts?
If I'm not drinking, I feel like I have RBF. And maybe it's more of a judgmental look, but I don't want anybody talking to me. And if I think somebody's looking at me like they may approach me to talk to me,
Turn and walk the other way?
no, I just look at them like, you better think again, pal.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not the one.
Again, majority of our communication is nonverbal.
I'm not the one.
So people,
Like that? Like when they look at you, they got this like,
and Dave's like,
yeah, no, not today.
not
Go
today,
ahead,
pal.
sea-sucker,
Not tomorrow.
sea-sucker.
Find somebody else.
The nonverbal cues are huge. I think I don't think there's any necessarily like facial feature that makes it work. I always try to have a smile and
I'm a big
warm eyes,
crossed arm guy, like I'm pissed off.
which closes yourself off. That's a big nonverbal cue.
Yeah.
Crossed arms.
My lovely super smoking hot wife
My wife.
is big proponent for the RBF. And there will be times where I'm like, people are like, God damn, is she pissed? What's wrong? Why is she so upset? And I'm like, oh, she's not. She just, this is how she looks, around and find out, pal. See what you think. But no, I think, you can judge a book by the cover. 90% of the time, I'm usually pretty good at it. Like if somebody's just being a sea sucker, like you can tell, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want to talk to that guy.
Do you think I was a sea sucker before we became buddies? We didn't really see each other that much.
No.
I mean, Jenna probably gave the lowdown.
Yeah. I mean, you're an awkward like
Yeah,
for
for
You
sure.
still are.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure,
Yeah,
I'll have a
really.
salad.
Yeah. You big fat bitch, Dave. Yeah. Like, no,
All right.
no fried shrimp. This place.
Yeah. All right, Brado. Thank you, buddy. Hopefully you enjoyed your cruise. glad you had a little time off to go do that. I know you have a busy schedule. But RBF, I think, is more of a female thing. I think dudes just know they don't want to talk to other dudes. Anyways, hey, it's time for some final thoughts brought to you by the Rugged Foot.
Wanderers, we don't ask for much, but we are asking now. Please, please, please head over to Facebook and like and share the Rugged Foot of Huntingburg. Mike has a wonderful Facebook page that not only shows what he has in stock, but also what he's got on special. I was perusing Mike's Facebook page just the other night and was impressed with not only the variety of boots, but the fact that he carries quality boots for work, hiking, and leisure. Not only does he sell the boots, but he also has the socks and accessories you need to keep your feet happy. Stop by on Facebook and stop by in person.
Brother Dave, what you got?
Well, I don't have much of nothing. It's been a real busy couple weeks, which is good. Time's gone by too fast, which makes me sad now that I'm getting older. I feel like I'm running out of it and spinning it faster. But slow down. Take time to smell the roses and, hey, have a good time, man.
Yeah. Party naked. Big fella.
YOLO, dog.
Wow, that wasn't even in the microphone.
Yeah. Could you get it in the microphone?
I said YOLO, dog.
There we go.
Quit bitching.
Keep your stick on there.
Look at the positive things instead of the negative things. Piss on humidity.
That sounds like a terrible thing to do if it's already humid.
And
Makes it wet.
How about some hot liquid?
Makes it wet and it stinks more.
I want some hot wings.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's
Tomorrow.
Well, Hooters is closed. We'll have to
I
talk
know,
about that.
Bumskis, but
Yeah.
yeah, keep your stick on the ice. Thanks for listening.
Big thank you to Celebration, all right? Celebration.
Boys.
Ois, baby. Right. To our buddy, it's not Mark Siebert, it's Mark Seibert. Big thank you to Celebration Ice, Jumping Jacks, the MFL Foundation, of course, which, well, that's just a nifty little
It's for the
bookkeeping
kids.
trick. Yeah, for the kids. Which you guys, I guess I'm thanking myself for. Yeah, anyways, big thank you to Merkley & Sons and, of course, the Rugged Foot. When this airs, Father's Day will be that coming Sunday, and I want to wish you guys a happy Father's Day, and I want to give a shout out. Well, thank you. I want to give a shout out to my father. He's been an excellent one.
Papa Frank.
Papa Frank does more than could ever imagine, and really love my dad. Just celebrated a big birthday as we record this in live time this past week. So keep collecting those birthdays and, keep being a good father and a good papaw to the young ones. But
Hell yeah.
all you wanderers out there in Dutchman land, that whether this child is yours biologically or you've stepped into that role, salute you, because kids need their fathers. I think it's important, and studies show that. So that's my big thing. Happy Father's Day. It's an important holiday, Father's Day and Mother's Day. I know we get into the, the Hallmark greeting card.
Oh,
and it's got to
yeah.
be this and that. And really, just pick up the phone and call. Tell your dad you love him. That male role model father figure that you've had in your life, pick him up. Pick up the phone, call him, tell him you love him. So that's all I got, fellas. Take us out. We'll see you next week.
Dutchman out.